All right, what's up, guys? I'm back on the Merc again, trying to replace the sorry, the valve guide that you can see is broken. The clip wasn't on it. If you guys looked at my last video, I'm gonna put that valve guide, the valve back in. Got a new spring for it. Got a new clip as well, plus the retainer for it. Got all these pieces here for it. Let me just show you real quick where it goes. So here's the motor. I can't remember if I had told you guys what happened here, but on this they tried to drill out, for some reason the bolt from the intake ended up drilling it to the side. You can see it there on that end right there in that little corner. Either way, I was able to put in drill out a little bit, put a Healy coil, hopefully that holds it. But I'm gonna be installing this stuff back on, and then we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I'll get back to you guys. All right, what's up, guys? I got the valve, spring, retainer, the clips, the valve guide. This is pretty much how you put it on. Slip that in, slip the spring in, just like that. And then you're gonna put this little retainer, goes at the end right here. So what this does, it goes in here, gotta compress the spring, and then in between there we gotta add these little clips here to hold it, to maintain that. So once we do that, I'll stick it into the motor. I got the new clip for it as well. That clip is actually going to catch onto this first line right here. That's what's going to hold the valve guide from moving anywhere, and that would compress the valve into it as well. So hopefully this, once I install this, I'll be able to get this motor running. I'll put everything back together, and we'll fire it up. So I'll get to that right now. All right, guys, I was able to push this spring back on, put those clips in there. I was able to push it in by hand, just pushing it down, and took a little muscle, but I was able to do it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put it in where it's got to go. And if you guys don't have the tool, this is the tool you're gonna use right here. It's just a big old long thing here. So what you do is you're gonna stick it in here. See how it just moves up, but I'm gonna push it down. That way I can be able to install the clip where it's got to go, and it'll hold that valve in. So let me get this clip right here, the retainer, this one. That's what's gonna go inside of it. And now when you stick it in, you can see the other ones. I'm sure you can see the other ones that are hanging in there. So I'll be sticking it in like this. So I'm gonna need two hands for that. So once I put this clip in, I'll show you guys. But just to get an idea how to do it is sticking this in there, pushing the whole the spring down with the valve guide, so then that way you can be able to put that clip in. All right, guys, I was able to put that valve in. See how it's up still? Well, I had to move the crankshaft pulley, kind of move it that way the valves can go up and down. I was able to move it down that way I can lower it to where it would be if it was flush. So like I said, there's that clip. I was able to put it in, make sure the valve is, you know, down all the way, make it easier for you to be able to put that clip in. So I was able to do that. Now I'm gonna start assembling the motor, putting the heads on, intake on, and then see if we can hopefully get this thing fired up. So these are my old heads that I had on that flathead. I'm gonna go with my other heads that I had for my Roadster. I'm gonna throw those heads on because those were pretty clean. Everything was fine on them, working good. I got this intake. I just cleaned it up. I'm gonna throw this intake on it because what I ended up having to do with that intake that came with that flathead, I needed to buy a spacer for it. Here's my carb. See that spacer for the 4 holes? I don't want to have to be dealing with that. Here's my carburetor that's going to be going on that motor. So I'm going to do just run the stock. You know, I can throw any carburetor on there. Don't have to worry about that. Eventually I'll switch out that intake and possibly run a dual carb just like I have on my Roadster. So I'm going to clean these heads up. Then I'll slap them on there, throw the gaskets on, and we'll go from there. So another thing I recommend is see these bolts. The old bolts from the other heads are blue, but what I'm doing is I'm cleaning them up. That way it looks a lot nicer. Look at this one. See this? It's all rusted. Like, so I got my wire wheel here, and I'm just gonna pretty much clean them all up before I put it on. You know, what's the rush? That way it looks nice and clean. You don't have all this crud in there when you go and put it on. So just a heads up, I would just clean them up. Take the time, you already got it off, might as well do it now. Well, here you have it, guys. I got the heads in, got the intake in. I gotta torque them down still. Unfortunately, I ran out of time for today. I'll get on it a little bit, I guess, tomorrow again. Hopefully I'll have all this stuff bolted up, and then I'll try to see firing it up.